Yo, yo, yo. Hello, Xenon. Good morning, Ryan. What up, everyone? Let me make a post quick. Give me 1 second. How are y'all doing? I'm making a post real quick. Market open. Alright. I'm good. I'm looking for higher prices throughout the indices triad, right? And RTY too. Hello, Dutch guy. Hello, hello. Posting in Lathyrus as well that I'm live. Tried to long and Q, stopped out, YM switches strength. Yeah, I saw that too. YM flipping really strong here. While NQ is in close proximity to the daily high we want, right? Y'all hear me? I think my voice is fine. Little low. It's possible to make it higher. Let me check. It's better now. I think voice is good. Ah, it's okay. Yeah, sometimes my mic is falling off. Since I have no sound on my PC, then my mic is in like every 30 minutes it's turning off. Since there's no sound on my PC. What do we think about RTY? I think we are good for higher prices. I'm looking to engage. If you get this 5 minute or 3 minute CISD here, then I'm actually looking to engage. Little size since it's close to the open, but we have lots of room since we already failed to reverse from this relevant day high here. We are close to this high, so I actually want to see us trade through this high and not reverse from this high here. But RTY is way closer than YM to that high, so we are trading the leader here if we are gonna long it here. We have swing inside FG from. On what asset do you mean? We have a swing inside FG for 16 wick and then 30 minutes. For me to engage on, for example, YM longs here, I need some new fractals since it was a very good opportunity to get in here, but we did have quite an expansion here. So I like to get some new fractal, for example on the 1 hour. We are technically still in this C4 candle, but we already expanded a lot during C3 into some levels, so then I'd rather wait for a new fractal to unfold or trade another asset. For example, This is not looking that good either. NQ. I mean, with this current price action, I'd rather wait on the open and view price after that, since if YM's closing like this, we can frame some good longs from here, right? Lots of room to the highs we want. So same for RTY. I'm looking to engage longs, but we can still drop a little bit lower to then go higher. And I do not even care to miss this move here to this high, since if we are bullish, we should trade through this, form a new signature to go long, then above this high, right? Since it makes not really a lot of sense to reverse from this high here and not trade into these highs here. So that's basically what I'm watching. Most of the time, if I'm entering prior to the open, for example, let's say we form a CISD now, I'm doing it with half the risk. Let me check the chat. Actually want to trade a gold today. Look clear price action. I mean price action for longs or short, since I think, yeah, silver is still bullish. We have all-time highs on silver. It's really hard to trade on assets that are chopping around all-time high like this. Since if we gonna continue to what level we are gonna continue, I don't know. Then it's actually better to trade longs on gold if we get some sort of strength switch. But for now, we actually do kind of manipulate this high here and retrace it to this FEG. So if today can close bullish, we actually have a failure to reverse from this relevant high here. So if this can close like around this level, we can continue higher to this high. But for now it rejected the high, so I will not trade anything on gold today. The daily on NQESYM is actually looking the best. Maybe not for today, since we already expanded a little bit. But I like today to close above the Monday open candle to form a low of the week, since we have then a small wick on this weekly candle and we can expand into the highs. This is basically the same for every asset, YM as well. It's now weaker, but we have an SMT on previous day low, while ES and NQ formed a C2 candle previous day, and we have SMT here. So we have actually a kind of a fractal strength switch here, while NQES were initially bearish here, or weaker, and then we are flipping strength here on this fractal. So it's basically the same. We have like a weekly swing low into a daily formation, then we're looking for a new fractal here. Could we expect a pullback at 9:30 since 8:30 hasn't manipulated anything? For what assets, or you mean like every asset? There was no 8:30 news, right? Or am I wrong? I mean, I'm looking at drivers like a red folder 8:30 or other drivers, and 9:30, like if we have formed a low of the day formation throughout the triad, so in this case NQ, ES, YM, or on RTY using it with YM, do we have a low of the day formation to trade away from? Most of the times, if we have that, then news drivers like 8:30, 9:30 are just gonna expand away from it. But for now, I'm not so sure what's gonna happen, since I prefer higher prices. But I do like some new fractal like this on the 30-minute or 1 hour. It's fine too to engage to the highs here. Do you need at continuation swing points? For example, on this daily here, we are initial weaker on ES and NQ, and then it's the best to see some form of strength switch if it's confirmed on the weakest asset as well. So is why I'm expanding away from the SMT here. Yes. Did we do it here? Yes. So if you can expand, this is a proper SMT and strength switch, but I rather wait for the open today. Not really clear. The only thing I'm looking to engage here is RTY. But I'm not gonna enter like in those 4 minutes prior to the open. So now I'm letting it play, not gonna enter anything, and I will just wait. Since if we are right on the bias for RTY and we actually expand with 930, what's the possibility that we're gonna expand to here in one direction? I mean, it can, but I do prefer if we are bullish and we are right, it expand higher, form a new fractal here to involve in price action here to get the longs in. So for now I'm just waiting for the open. You are trading since? I'm trading since like 5 years ago. Started with crypto. That was some bullshit, like just spot investments and some, yeah, not really good trading, retail concepts, etc. Are you always trade after 930? No, it depends on if we are setting up to expand away from the formation we have prior to 930. So if we actually form this reversal here, this signature, let's say at during the 8 to 9 a.m. candle, we can actually expand away from it with 930 if we just manipulate in the hours prior to the open. Then it can expand away, yes, but we need some sort of swing point to form, like on a 4 hour. We can reverse into expand, something like that. Or we need a proper low of the day formation confirmed with a 1 stage, 2 stage, or PSP, like I explained in my video on YouTube. I mean, in my opinion, it's a really good video about how I approach the daily, and you can see it today again. For me, the only reasonable bias today is higher prices based on previous day close. So we actually closed as a C2 for bearishness, or we closed as a C2 for bullishness. But what's the bias overall? It's higher price, right? So this is, I mean, you can trade the retracement candle from this previous day high rate into internal, but I'm more of a fan trading in the direction of the high time frame, right? Yo, what up, Marcelo? Nice to have you here, bro. 25490 is my entry. You mean on NQ? So your entry is basically where we are now. It's dumping. You trade primal model or GXT? I just trade my own thing. Backtested my own concepts, and I'm using that right now. I left crypto 1 month ago. It's totally shit. Yeah, it is. I mean, I started during the like 2017, 2018 bull run, I think. 17, 18, I think, something like that. And yeah, it was just, I think it was more of gambling since I did not really know what I'm doing. And then switched to Forex retail concepts, came across some ICT shit, started with that. It made me kind of profitable. Then after 2 years I was profitable on Forex, but it became very shit. Jesus, we are crashing. So this is not what we want to see. still looking for higher prices though. Let's see how this candle is closing, since this is really not ideal for longs now. This deep of a retracement. Ideally we should not trade below this low, and we just hold this fair value gap here, but I don't know, this is not looking good for longs right now. Let's see what YM is doing. YM is what is NQ doing? So all the assets are a little bit dropping. I mean, that's okay since we are bullish, so if you can view this as a manipulation move, then it's looking good. So if we see something like this with the open, it's going against our direction, then I'd rather wait for most of the time for 10 AM to open. Fix the voice. I mean, my voice is good, right? Y'all can hear me? I think y'all can hear me, so it's fine. Make some bread today on YM, I hope so. But currently it's not setting up anything for longs, and my bias is longs for NQ, YM, ES and RTY. HO should go to this low as well. But when indices are clean, I'm more focused on them than trading gold and oil. It's low in every stream. I mean, I have the voice of my volume the highest I can in OBS, so I think this should be good. And Q going higher here. Yeah, it should just expand here. Pretty much a little bit decoupled here right now. When I'm going lower, ES the middle asset in between, and NQ doing this. That's not a market I wanna trade in. So we wait for a resync to long one of them. We look like we are just consolidating. Yeah, it's not looking nice right now, so I hope not a lot of people took longs prior to the open, since they got fucked right now then. Even my perspective here was off, but it was in my direction, so is previous day high or drawn NQ, or can it expand higher? I mean, it can expand higher, but what are the signatures you want to see at this relevant level? So let's say we have this relevant level, a daily high. What do we want to see here? We want to see price not reverse like this, but we want to see it continue through, maybe consolidate a bit, and then go higher. Then we can expand higher. But this is the first level you take your trades off, and you do not want to see it reverse here. Then it makes no sense for us to trade. For example, if NQ is the leading asset taking this high and we are bullish, and it reverses here, it makes no sense to long ES or NQ. or YM. I mean, I think my audio is good. I can put it almost in my mouth, but I think it's good. Is asset sync a must? I mean, it's not a must if you trade the leader asset and you are right. So if you are long in Q, it's good. But to trade a synced market is way better. Maybe I need to restart my my headset if it's not working still. So ES is going higher here. That's nice. While YM is still going lower. Yeah, the audio is good. So I think the people that cannot hear me really good, maybe turn your volume higher on YouTube or your own AirPods, earplugs. So even in Lathyrus, I see some people trade around the open as well. If I'm not sure about what will happen, I'm just waiting. Since most of the time the open can fuck you up a little. So we can see clearly NQ trading through the highs here. On the 5 minute it's currently not reversing. That's something you wanna see. Let's see if this 30-minute and 1 hour candle can close strong to trade continuations higher on the leader or um, trade a catch up on ESYM. RTY melting crazy. Removing this for now, but my bias is still higher. We should not trade below this low here. It would be nice to form some new sort of fractal here to go higher and view this as a manipulation move, but we should not trade through this low if we are bullish here. ES long, let me check. Yeah, it's looking good to trade higher as well, but do we have SMT here? The only thing is, if I'm looking for longs on this CISD here, look at the RR it's giving me. I mean, it gives 2, but what's the chance of it retesting? And we have no red folder news today too, so we will see. Good signature on NQ here. RB is a great example today. 6 a.m. 4-hour candle, weekly PSP and weekly SMT in weekly. Great gap that HO did not offer. We have a 2 a.m. hive today here. Yeah, I mean it should just go down. It should just go down. So we actually have an SMT like this. So we can leave this gap open if we want. But currently it's just flipping strength to RB and CL. Passing this low here. you don't consider the second stage on higher time frame because previous YM was leading and now lagging. Yeah, you can already see the strength switch on a daily, like I explained early in the stream. We can see the SMT here at first, and now we have some sort of strength switch here. But then you do not want to see YM reverse and trade to the low of the SMT, right? You want all assets to expand away from the SMT. I think HO need to go to the weekly low. Yeah, same view. Exactly the same view here. But then we can better wait for next 4-hour candle, right? Since 2 a.m. expanded, creating high of the day here. 6 a.m. expanded, and we can form a low here, so it makes no sense to shorten this low yet here. Clean continuation signatures here on HO. So we have some room to go to here if the 10 a.m. is offering something. Or it just melts. That's possible too. So we have a C2 reversal here. SMT on the highs. It's looking good for lower. Silver long. Yeah, I mean it's pretty hard to trade for me. Silver longs here since we had a relevant level, all-time high. And the daily is between previous day high and low in. So it's pretty much undecisive. If it formed a strong reversal from this low here, you could have traded longs to previous day high, but nothing for now. What time do you come on the charts? It depends. Since today I'm streaming here on YouTube, then I'm at the charts from like 8:30 around that time. But if I'm not streaming, I'm at the chart from like the 6 a.m. open. I'm checking if there's some potential in the first minutes of the 6 a.m. open. And yeah, that's basically the first time I'm looking at the charts then. So I'm still waiting here. Large drop on RTY and YM. Not ideal for longs. How far back do you look on oil? It's the oil. The only trade I think is really hard to get on bias. Yeah, that's pretty true. Um, the most of the time I'm framing from relevant levels. So we have weekly highs. And I mean, if oil is not clear, it will not deliver good. You can see it in here, in this on this weekly time frame. If you do not engage some relevant key level, it's not really nice to trade. So for scalps like I'm doing, you can look at highs like this, FEGs like this. That makes the most sense. Or you can just filter through candle closures like this, if it makes sense to go lower, right? So we still have room for HO to go to the low. Same for CL, but you can see HO is leader in bearishness, right? So if the trade here is not offering anything, maybe we can look at 10 a.m. oil shorts if it's providing. YM, CISD and NQ on a high bearish vibes. No, I mean higher time frame is not bearish at all for me. So if this 6 a.m. candle is closing this strong on NQ and NQ is the leader for upside, we can trade maybe a lagging asset like ES or YM, since we still have this SMT here. But why should YM retrace this deep? Same for RTY basically. Let's see the behavior around this low if you can expand higher from there. Let me drink some water. Okay, I'm back. Let me check the chat. So daily swing points and FEGs basically. Yeah. I mean, if the oil triad is not that clean as you see on NQ, ES and YM, then just stay out, since it's a really hard market to read the triad. And if it's very clean, I mean, this was actually a moment it was very clean. We had a key level. We formed C2 closures in here. I remember we have a 2 stage here, like this, to trade RB longs. And then you can see it's offering really good longs in those days. But if it's not clear, just stay out. So you have a lot of scenarios to go through, right? Let's say today we are trading lower on HO to this low. What do we want to see on HO to trade RB to this low and CL to this low? We do not want to see HO reverse V-shaping here on, for example, the 4 hour or 1 hour. That's not a good signature to trade shorts on RB and CL, right? You do not want to see the leading asset reverse, and that's basically what I rip the mic once again. This will happen a few more times, I think. But I want to say, like I said, leading assets should not reverse in order to trade the lagging and the middle asset. So same scenario on NQ, ES, YM. If we are actually bull, NQ should not reverse and close inside the range. It should form a continuation signature here at or around the high, and then you can look for a strength switch on ES or YM to trade the longs. But I'm currently working on a video on this. Second video for YouTube. First one was a pretty good one, I think. Basically exactly how I frame my trades on the daily, or how I frame my daily bias. How do you control your emotional break after hitting a stop loss? I mean, we all have emotions, right? And like you said, we just need to control them. So set fixed rules for yourself. My rules are 2 trades a day max, and my first one, and I can really decide how I put on my risk, but one is half size and one is full size, right? So initially prior to the open I wanted to long RTY here, and I said before the drop I wanted to long with half size. If this is gonna be an L, a loser trade, I can long again with, for example, full size, and that will be my 2 trades with my 1.5 R risk, to say it like that. And that's basically it. There's nothing to do after. If I'm losing a trade, of course, it kind of hurts to say it like that, but I just know by being this long in a game, it's part of the game. If you cannot lose, or you cannot control the losing trades, you're not gonna make it far here. You're gonna fuck up a lot of accounts or whatever. Do you always wait for 10 a.m.? No, it depends. I can trade 6 a.m. and 10 a.m. and I need a low of the day formation to trade away from. So for example, today this should be the low of the day, the 2 a.m. low. But since we already expanded a lot, I want to wait for a candle closure on this 4-hour candle to trade the next one. Since this candle, as you can see, 2 a.m. expanded a lot. Currently we are forming some SMT here, but we need more confirmations to trade either longs on ES or we sit out, or YM can be possible too, or RTY. But the first signature we have here is NQ not reversing here on the 5 minute. That's actually good. So it would be ideal for example, ES to close above here to make a CISD here, for example. Since we are forming an SMT here with YM, what do we want to see if we form an SMT inside a triad? We want expansion away from the SMT formation, and for now it's only NQ that's doing so. Euro futures very clear to downside. Shorts on Euro futures. Yeah, possible, but I should not really short from those failure swings here. I would rather short from this level there. We have some sort of SMT here. Equal lows on DXY, it should just go there. We are failing to trade through this high here. We are currently just in a range, and we should trade to the lows here, in my opinion. You only trade futures? Yeah, currently I'm only trading futures. Sometimes I'm swinging some EUG, UJ, USD CAD, but that's basically like 1-2 trades a month currently. So focus is on futures, yes. What's your 1R on 50k account? What do you mean 1R? My risk, or is there spreads or slippages in futures? No, not really. Depends on when you are trading, but most you pay some fees for the contracts you're putting on, but that's not a lot. And it's way better than Forex in my opinion. You trade copy a few accounts? Yep. Think like 8 for now. I'm doing 8 accounts, I think, or 10, something like that. Do you confirm low of the day with 1-hour CSD? That's a possibility. For my bias, I'm using the daily time frame. Then I wanna fractalize it to the 4-hour, and from there I'm fractalize it to the 1-hour or 30 minutes. So both are possible for me. But for now we have like this SMT here and CISD here. Will this be saved? Yeah, after the stream is done, it's uploaded directly to YouTube, right? Two-stage SMT, PSP on 50 minute continuation. What do you think? And Q not reversing. Nope, for now it's not reversing. That's actually good. Want to see how this 4-hour is closing through the high to either trade continuations here if we are not gonna consolidate here, or we trade ES or YM longs. So if YM is gonna expand here, yeah, I mean it's not very nice that we have still SMT here technically, but then we should all expand away from this SMT. So basically ES YM should expand higher, And maybe we can trade some RTY longs as well. We have a clear drawn liquidity here. So if the next candle opens like this and we are closing like this, we should remove this. Like I said, we should not trade below this low in the range. Then we are not want to see price trade below this, right? So that's how I'm framing this. And I'm not FOMOing in here. Want to see some trading on 3-minute or 5-minute here to enter off. Let me check the chat. Yo, yesterday did you took any trade? Nope, yesterday no trades. Was looking for RTY longs here. We are actually at or no, a little bit prior to the open we manipulated this low, expanded higher. I wanted to see this high go already, but we just pulled up here. 10 a.m. opened really high here, and we retraced this deep. That's not favorable for me to long inside this price movement. How many trades do you usually take per week, and what RR do you aim for? I'm taking like 2 to 4 trades a week. That's my average, and I'm going break even at 2R, since in my backtest or just by logic, let's say I'm longing here, stop loss here, and we do 2R. We made quite a large expansion, right? Like this. We expanded. So I can go break even, since it makes no sense to retrace this deep to then go higher. So I'm going break even at 2R, and my TPs are between 2R and 3R, so 2.5, 3, just depends on the target. So let's say hypothetically I was in here, I could have aimed for a little bit beyond or past this high for 2.5R. That would have been reasonable for me. YM looks clean on 30-minute fractal strength switch as well. Yeah, it's looking good. This is actually very good here. But I'm not trading inside this candle. We'll let this candle close on the 30-minute, new 4-hour, and then I want to frame my continuation signature, right? Let's see what the oil is doing. In the meantime, rejecting a little bit. RB is still weak. That's nice. YM strength switch, yeah. Do you use old swings, high low to break? Yeah, technically, I mean, some intraday highs and lows, right? For example, I'm picking RTY here again. We should not trade, if we are bullish, we should not reverse from this high here, same for this high. So then you're going to go break even. And like I said, if your trade is doing 2R, it should not retrace that deep. Unless you are trading with like these stops like this. That's not ideal. Did you market into RTY on a 3-minute close? No, I'm not in any trade. I just wanted to show when and where I'm going break even. Currently I'm not in any trade. I'm waiting for the 4-hour to open like we do now. We can clearly see strong closure on NQ. So if you are going higher on ES, YM, should be nice if you form some entry signature here. Not trying to hurry in the trade here, since the the candles on ES are pretty big for entries to frame off. Since this is, if we close like this, it's not ideal for me 1-to-1 to the targets. So let's see. Yeah, exactly at the open we formed this one, and then I'm going higher. So the strength currently is still on NQ. What's the next high we go to? This high. That's a high we can expand to today, if price is willing to. But we are not reversing from this relevant swing, then we go to the next one, right? For now, still nothing to engage in. What's your average RR target per week? I mean, I do not have a target, but I think the last few weeks were around 5R. Last week was like 4R. The week before, I think 5. So 4 to 6 is my average RR, something in between there. Why are you not trading BTC? Since, I mean, this is just working the best for me, so I'm sticking with that. Do you take 1 minute entries? Nope. No, no, no. My lowest time frame is 3 minute, and my 3 and 5 minutes are basically my time frames for entry. Sometimes, very rarely, I'm trading the 50 minute as like a positional trade or something. How long have you been profitable, and how long did it take? I mean, the year I traded crypto. I'm not counting that as a reasonable year of experience. So after I moved to Forex, I think it was like 1.5 years, around that, maybe close to 2, but something like that. Then I started to earn some money in Forex as well. But I moved to futures with basically the same concepts when I was already starting to look at here in this price action, but inside this I switched to actually trading futures. Was not clean at all for me. Do you copy trade prop firms? Yep. Yes, sir. Using Tradecopia, working pretty good for me. You Dutch? Yeah, I am. I am. You can hear that? I mean, we have like 80 viewers and only 17 likes. Please show some love. Would be really appreciated. Kan het gelijk horen, love. My accent is not the best. So for now, RTY, YM, ES have no real entry signatures for me. Since those order blocks are way too big for me to engage. These are the order blocks I want. Small opposing run down, then close through. That's a really nice one. So it would be nice, but it can still run higher by just expanding higher. Would be nice if ES or YM showed some down close candle and trade through it to enter on to trade continuation. So my invalidation here is just too big, since I'm not placing my stop loss like this inside the middle of this, for example 5 minute OB. That's not how my invalidations work. This was actually a good trade. or trade or framework for an entry, FVG into a CISD here. But if we are willing to trade to this high here, we have lots of room to form another signature. Same for YM, same for ES. So I'm not FOMOing in here. Best futures prop firm. It depends like what type of trader you are. Since Apex is a good prop firm like to scale with, and it's very cheap. But if you are new to trading prop firms, I should go with a firm that has like end of the day drawdown. For example, Top Step, Funding Ticks, My Finite Futures. But currently I'm only trading with Apex. Bought some Funding Ticks as well, and I have a My Finite Future, so I have no Top Step. Since I do not like the Project X platform, I just like to use Trade-of-Fate to sync everything. And QYM both acting stronger than ES. Yeah, I need some OB like this to trade higher. And we should not reverse here on YM. So if it's looking like a reversal here, but we retrace and then give this closure like this, that's a failure to manipulate this relevant high here. Since at first it shows maybe a reversal signature, but then making a CISD is actually continuation. Thank you for streaming, really helpful. Yeah, I mean I'm doing this for free, so I'm planning to do this like one time a week, sometimes two. This week I'm streaming Friday as well, if price action is decent enough. Or I mean I will stream, but it depends on the price action for how long I will stream. Why you don't trade London session? I mean I can, but for futures like in QESYM, let me check. Some days you have just like shitty price action, for example this here. Not a lot of volume as well. Here you have basically no volume. Weird candles here, and then the volume kicks in, and that's the best. And when I started to backtest, I tested only the 6 a.m. and 10 a.m. candle to trade. So you use intraday drawdown on Apex. I mean, it only has intraday drawdown, but if you are funded and you already make the money for the buffer, right? There's no trailing drawdown anymore. You just have like to not go below the initial balance of 50k in my for me. So we are printing an FVG here on NQ. Like to see some signature form here to long, making a down close candle to then long from. Since it's still leading, there are no order blocks forming on ESYM either. At least not on the 3 minute, maybe 1 minute, but I'm not going to the 1 minute. So nothing for now. But on YM we have plenty of room to go to this high. Same for RTY, since if it's bullish it should not reverse from this high, it should also go to this high. So we have lots of room to involve. But as you can see, if we look between RTY and YM here, for now YM is a little bit stronger since it's already at this high. I'm ready to full port. You on a trade right now, or you just ready? I really like your way of trading. Thanks for the help. Yeah, no worries. I like to do this, helping people here, so I mean I cannot sit here for hours, so that's why I'm streaming the open and not from like 7 or 8 a.m. No, waiting for YM too. Nice. So we do get some little retrace here on NQ. Should not reverse and trade through this order block and FEG here. But if we can form a signature like this, that's a great continuation signature, right? But what ES should not drop this deep. Should respect this order block and fair value gap to go higher, not reversing from this high to the SMT formation here. I like this little retrace here to frame a continuation. As you can see, we retrace on YM and RTY, but RTY is a little bit weaker, so not favorable for longs at all right now. So just waiting. That's the hardest part of trading, waiting. Appreciate it, man, no worries. I mean, if you can push the likes higher, that would be nice too. 80 viewers. Creating the 10 AM wick, hopefully. Yup. I can mark the 10 AM open as well. That's something nice. So if NQ is closing here, I'm ready to engage some longs for high prices. Leading asset still not reversing from that high, so we can play the continuation here. YM expanded away from the SMT, so this is a proper SMT. Same for ES, it expanded higher. And for NQ it expanded higher. Pretty much off the open. RTY is maybe setting up like a 5-minute here, but for now I prefer NQ since it's still the leading asset here. So I think we have like, this is like 942. We have like an SMT here as well, still with YM. You can see NQ being pretty strong. And the leader for upside. ES printing continuation here as well. Jesus, what the hell is this? What a reverse here on oil. Jesus Christ. Glad I was only watching for the indices, right? 10 AM moon, straight up. Let me check the chat. Man, make a video how to make narrative with drivers. I will. I will make every video about the concepts I'm using, right? So next one is phases of price, and that includes something like this, failing to manipulate here, shit like that. So likely dropping this Sunday if I have enough time to finish it. I like if NQ take that low second stage with YM. You mean this low? I actually do not want to see NQ go to this low here. If it's bullish, it should not go there. Thanks man for coming live. It's really helpful to trade with someone who have more experience. Yeah, I mean we all need to learn from people that are already doing the things you want, right? Look at YM. Yeah, I just saw this. But I still prefer NQ, to be honest. And we do not really have my entry protocol here. There's no FEG. Wait, let me pull it up for you guys. I dropped this in Lathyrus as well. long time ago. I'm just sticking with my signatures for entries. Gonna paste it here. Look, these are the entries I want on the 3 minute and the 5 minute. And currently, what is YM forming? A CISD, but not from a stop run, not from a FEG, not from a really SMT. No, not at all. So I'm just sticking with that, and I still prefer NQ to close through. RTY setting up as well. Oh wait, we do not have really a correct there, since YM took the low as well, I think. Yeah. My bad. So how it's looking now, strength is kind of flipping to YM instead of NQ being the leader, but it's still looking good. Oil seems to often leave equal highs and everywhere. You mean these highs here? Yeah, I understand. I mean, oil is pretty much not an asset to trade during London at all. You can see the gaps here. Volume is starting to kick in around 8 AM most of the time, so. Did you have a mentor? Not specific for one-on-ones. I just learned from multiple people in the communities, right? Why not trade ES lagging asset? I will. I will look for entries on NQ ES, but we need to close through this OB. This is actually more reasonable. Let's say we want to trade this CISD here, this one. Look how big it is. Stop should be around here. And then it's just a 1-on-1 to first target. I mean, now it will be a 1-on-2-1 as well, but we have more room. Shorter stop loss. I mean, oil is crazy. Just going crazy. Been following you since from MMSM Discord, bro, killing it. Yes, sir. I mean, I'm glad I switched to future since it has more frequency in terms of trades, more trades a week, and it's easier to scale prop firms with the challenges, right? You can basically full port those cheap ass challenges on future accounts. YM, yeah, bro, I do not care if I miss this move here. I mean, I cannot enter here. Like if we print a gap, for example, right now, and we make continuation here, I can enter. I get preferring NQ with R2I 3 minutes. Nice. It's not closing through at the moment on 5 minute and 3 minute as well. You took yes. I'm not in any trade. Sometimes I'm just showing that I'm not willing to trade this CISD here, for example, since it's so big. Yeah, indices are easier to trade than forex. Yeah, I mean, sometimes DXY is just so shit, and then the most majors are shit as well. I took long on YM after CISD. That's nice. That's nice. It can still continue higher though. Looking good. You do trade daily or only 2 days a week in Discord? it depends on the schedule we are making in the Discord. So sometimes I'm trading one time in the Discord and I'm making like a Q&A price action review in the evening. So that will be like inside this block here. I will do like a Q&A, PA review or a backtesting stream. So there are 2 streams a day in Lathyrus. We will stream the open every day. Sometimes it's Avis, sometimes it's Jay, sometimes it will be me. So it just depends. And on other days I can stream on YouTube if I want. If price action is looking good, for example. And I'm available for like every questions. We have a clear questions tab where you can tag a mentor, and everyone is looking is answering the questions. That's really nice. Still waiting here. Is that not a good entry on YM? This one? I mean, it's still not the same as one of these I'm using. We have no stop run, we have no SMT here, and no FG. If we close through here again, that's showing a clear continuation signature. This one, yeah. But we made no CISD here. I'm not really using SMTs between gaps, since I did not test anything with that. I'm using it between like those highs. So for example YM or RTY has an SMT here with YM. So if it can expand higher now, that's becoming valid for an SMT for RTY. Let me drink some water again, real quick. Few seconds. To me, there's a valid 0.5 trade with 4R. Yeah, I understand it. I'm looking at the same signatures for higher prices, but for now, as of now, no entry yet. Nothing to do on oil as well. Jesus, HO is cranking higher here. Has to be some news. Maybe there was news for oil. I don't know. Clear and buy smarter. What do you mean? Ten nine, 1021. Is this now a? It just closed exactly at the open, I think. 3-minute made a change. I'm giving a Q a shot here. Let me check the other assets as well before I enter. No change. No, I just wait. Let me wait. Want to see ES, for example, close through as well. So YM, just waiting a little more. I think RTY for today is off the board. Nothing to engage there. Leaving those highs here. Maybe smarter to wait as you do. Yeah, I'm just waiting here. Since ES is just a little bit consolidating here. No big 5-minute candles, but some order blocks here on the 3-minute. Would be nice if you put in some SMT. For example, YM taking out this low here and reversing higher still. Like this. Not ideal to see ES reverse from here. We can still put in a second SMT here. Like that. And if we then see ISD away from it and all the other assets are going higher, then we can look for longs. Just 2 failure swings here on RTY. I got saved by your entry signatures in YM. Yep. Since I think some people would have taken this CISD here and then got fucked right now. Since I told you all I want something like this, there was no FEG, there was no SM3 between highs, there was no stop run like this on the 3 or 5 minute, so dumping again. Crazy market today, Jesus. Can you please explain entry signatures again? Yeah, it's basically you want to see this through the other assets as well, so we view the market as a triad for entries as well. So let's see, let's say NQ is making a stop run and YM and ES making a SMT, then we can trade technically all the assets, but we want to know high time frame as well. But we want to see all assets trade away from the stop run like this or the SMT formation like that. That's fractal. It's same for this SMT here. This was qualified a good SMT since ES was going higher as well here in the first place. YM was going higher here as well, so was NQ going higher here. So this is again not ideal for longs. Boring ass market today, Jesus. So this is basically how you filter what other assets are doing and if it's reasonable for you to take an entry. Can you oh, you want to take a screenshot? Yeah, of course. Want to make it a little bigger. Like that. Take the screenshot. Likely no trade with this PA. I think you took the screenshot. Still looking for NQ longs though. We printed a 30-minute gap. Only thing is the CISD is way too far here. We put in another SMT here. Let me remove this one here. I mean, a lot of people will say this is like a 2-stage for YM if we expand higher, right? Since we have YM going lower here like this, we have a 2-stage. But it's still not ideal to see YM retrace this deep. What up, man? Yo, Nicholas. How are you? No trades for me today. Still looking for higher prices, but it's just ass right now. It's really ass. Same for RTY. Was looking for longs to those failure swings here, but it's just still ass. Tomorrow got stop loss yesterday, continuation 10 AM M3. Can you go? You took a long on NQ yesterday. 3 minutes. You got stopped out. Where did you get stopped out? Since 10 AM is like this candle here. Oh. Do you look for RTY SMT with NQ? No, 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 no. Only this is a triad NQ ES YM. And for me to trade RTY, I want an SMT with YM, not ES or NQ. And for YM, if I want to trade YM, it's ES or NQ. I mean, there is no entry here. So I don't know how you get stopped out past 10 AM. 3 minutes. There was no real FEG or entry signature again. So people that longed again here at 10 AM with, for example, this close through as this CISD, there was no FEG percent like this. Maybe a very tiny one here, but this is not an FEG. This is not a gap to me. This is a gap. If this gap was over here, it was a good trade, but this is not a good entry for me here. No entry on 5 minutes and no entry on 3 minutes. So that's again how I filtered the entry, like I did today here on YM for higher prices. So ES is inside this gap here. Yeah, nothing right now. Nope, it's just as for our SMT. Yeah, we have an SMT like this, but I'm more looking for longs based off the daily candles. So I'm not gonna short based on a 4-hour candle here. 50-minute NQ FG could support for longs. Wait, let me clear the. Yeah, it's basically paired up with the 30-minute FEG. I'm not really looking at 50 minutes, so this can form a potential new fractal for higher prices. For now we have this SMT, but no entry signatures. If this is the 10 AM open for NQ, if this is going to retrace all the way down to this low, I'm not looking for any trades today. So RTY is likely going for a low, not supported at all for me personally, so do not care. Same for YM. Why should it retrace this deep to reverse from this level? Makes no sense to retrace that deep. Likely attacking the low again, maybe even this low. Or the triad should expand now, but I don't know. But yet reversing here can actually be a good trigger for NQ longs, making the 2-stage. But nothing clear yet. Would you have taken longs on YM if any of those signatures forms? Yes. Peep the 90-minute NQES. 90-minute E. I mean, You mean for longs or short splash? Since I'm looking for longs to this high. You took anything with the open splash on the 1 minute or something like that? Yeah, longs. Still prefer longs as well. Preferably on NQ, but I need ES and so YM need to go higher as well. I mean, I do not want to see YM go parabolic, right? It should just not go lower. It should be retracing higher. And ES should go higher as well. Then it would be nice if you can frame an entry here, but nothing yet. No trades, no trades. And that's reality. Sometimes you do not have any good setup, then you just don't trade at all. If there's no trade, it can be that easy. ES look kinda seek and destroy. Yeah, it's obviously not the most favorable trade or asset to trade. But I still wanna see some reversing here, some reversal. No entry signatures. So this is basically as for an entry, since this is the OB. And that's not nice. Same OB for 5 minutes, so would be nice if we can fractalize, forming a down close and then go higher, like this. That's a nice signature, but nothing yet. YM setting up for longs, to be honest. Yeah, true, but same like I said on NQ, no entry candles from me. Should form something like an CSD inside there. And ES, NQ and YM should go higher from there. You don't use IFEG? Nope, I'm using these ones. So stop run into a change on all the assets. Sometimes you have two assets making a CSD and one not because it's just stronger or weaker, but you want all assets to trade away from this, and from this, making close to a CSD. So sometimes you see candles close like this over here, one asset not making the change, then it's still valid since we trade away from these highs here and this one. But for now, nothing on the board. Should be a disgust. Got roasted twice. You actually took a trade, or? I mean, I'm flat on the day, so nothing to trade. These deep retracements not fun to be trading. Same thing yesterday. Yep, true. I mean, if we qualify this as the bottom wick from the 10 a.m. candle, power of 3, should not retrace all the way to these lows here. But I can be wrong about my bias. But if I do not put on a trade, that doesn't. I mean, that's no problem at all. Since I'm not trading, risking money. Do we have Discord? Yes, I have Discord. I think it's the same username as my Twitter. Do you only take continuation entries? No, it depends. I can trade reversals as well, but then I need all assets to make the reversal or SMT. To actually trade a reversal for me, I want a 1 stage, 2 stage or PSP crack confirmation inside the 1 hour or 30-minute fractal, or the 4-hour candle as well. If you look at my past trades, we have those plenty of times. So NQ is still not reversing from this high here actually. It's looking to go higher, so we can break the SMT we are currently forming. but there's no entries here. I think we go lower. I mean, I do not think like that. I not thinking in the terms of I think we go lower. I just trade or look at price action, what it's presenting. Yeah, YM take the high and Q not. What model are you use? I use my personal approach. It's like concepts from a lot of people blending in one. So we are going higher again. But like I said, they changed a little, really far away. So this is again a hypothetically a trade. If we close here, stop around the bottom of the order block, we do get 2R, so it can be a trade. But I'm preferring to see some down close candle inside this move here to then trade this signature there. So why I'm going higher again, but no real entries. That sucks. 5 minute and 3 minute are just not presenting any entries. 3. Bro, if we get a third signature of entry sequence of entry, should we enter right there or wait for next candle to open and form its wick and lower? I mean, it depends. I mean, you should just give me a great or a example. Yo, this shit ripped without us. Yeah, true. You looking at the 1 minute splash, right? Or I just don't like the big order blocks here. I just want to form some like this and then form this OB here. Then you can really put on the risk you want in this move, right? Yeah, trying to play 50-minute, 1 minute model. Out of the gap. Yeah, I mean, it's looking very good for higher prices on NQ. Hmm. I'm just waiting. I entered on 1 minute because of 50-minute SMT. Yeah, more people trade 1 minute and that's really fine. It's basically fractal again. Let's say the fractal I want to see form on this 30-minute here, like this, 30-minute or 1 hour into 3 minute or 5 minute. You can use 50-minute, for example, this gap or this swing low into the 1 minute. It's basically fractal. But I personally tested my approach only with the 3 and 5 minutes, so I'm using that. Break even now on YM. You took YM 1 minute longs. I mean, if you actually sniped like this here, it's crazy. If you took this, crazy. Nice trade, bro. I mean, like I said early in the stream, if you entered something like this to this high, you already did more than 2R, so it's very reasonable to go break even, like you said, since if your trade is running more than 2, 2.5 or 3R should not retrace this deep to your entry to go higher. So that's basically logic, but if you are taking your trade off here at 4R, pretty nice trade. If something like this formed on a 3 or 5 minute on ES and Q would be nice, but that's crazy. Yeah, crazy trade on the 1 minute if you mean that. Give us 3-minute gap on NQ, then CISD. Yep, something like that would be nice. If it's going down here to this gap to then go higher, this gap, making a down close candle and then close through, that's nice. And if it's running higher, forming no entry signatures that I like this one or these, I don't care. I don't care. Exit at 47615. 476. Bro is doing a casual 5R trade here on the 1 minute. Well done, bro. Not even waiting for other assets to sink. I mean, we are already sinking by this 2 stage, trading away from it. Same for ES, trading away from it. In Q trading away, so if we form like a entry signature here inside this, we can actually long this. Since NQ is still stronger. We can flip strength of course, but no asset, not even YM, the leader right now, is presenting any type of entry signature. And that sucks. Bro, if you get continuation signature on 3 minute, would we enter on there or wait? I'm just trading personally inside C2 and C3 candles on the 30 minute or 1 hour. So if the entry signature is forming inside this candle, it's fine. But we already did quite a large expansion here. So we can form a signature here, but it makes more sense to wait for the new candle. There, my mic died again, once again. Yeah, I meant the 1 minute entry. This made a CISD on 10:14, 40, 10:40. Yeah, it's way later. Yeah, I mean, it's not my approach, so I cannot give any advice about it. So, but like you said, the only asset that made a change was YM, and that's basically the reason he took it, I think. So, how are you, Ferocious? I'm good. How are you, Baduxi? Would still want the gap to fill on 3 minutes, or rather, I prefer to just form one of these signatures since everything here is aligned to trade to this high here, but we just do not form any type of down close candle on the 5 minute or the 3 minute for me to enter on. That sucks. It's just pulling higher here after this SMT formation. The only good thing we can observe here about price action is when we qualify an SMT, we wait for the asset to expand away, and that's basically happening right now. These assets are expanding away. This one, that's a good SMT. 85 viewers. That's crazy. Never been that much, I think, in my live stream. Only 40 likes, please. Spam the likes. I know we can turn it to 50 at least. Y'all can show some love for this free stream here. RTY reversing as well, crazy again. Surviving in this price action is real skill. Yeah, I mean, I can filter pretty good I think here, since I want to know exactly what I'm looking for throughout the triad on NQESYM. RTY was not looking good at all, so that's off the board. And for now, NQESYM are just expanding higher. So that's what I'm talking about. 55 likes. Appreciate it. Really appreciate the support. Do you trade SMT fill on 3 or 5 minutes? Nope. Then I just prefer the asset that um, fills the gap, right? Since then we have this signature. But for now it's not forming on any of the assets. So we want to see NQ go down with a nice down close candle on a 3 or 5 minute, expand, close through, and trade higher. That's basically it. It's just that simple. And for some people thinking this is a reversal from this high, it basically is not a reversal. If we retrace CISD, that's just a continuation signature. If it reverses, it should not CISD higher on the 3 and 5 minute. But we will see. Do you still trade crypto? No. No, no, no. Only swinging major sometimes on DXY, but it's like 1 or 2 trades a month. And for NQ, I'm sometimes buying some stocks like NQESYM. Not separate stocks, but just these ones. That's basically it. I mean, when everything is aligned for higher prices, it's so easy to have this beside you to just wait for something like this to develop, right? It can be that easy. And like a lot of people in the chat are saying, then you will survive price action like this. Price action like entering on this random, or not really random, but entering on this CUSD. Same for, not same for this one. Same for NQ here. Your patience and discipline is admirable. Your membership for Lathyrus just expired. I mean, I will be free for like one stream on YouTube here, so make sure to tune in then. And I hope you will rejoin Lathyrus sometime, since there's insane full value in there, right? Do you care about any of those NQ 3-minute gaps or lowest gap? I mean, it should just be, I don't care what gap it is. So this 5-minute gap is most obvious, or this one. But again, if we, for example, this is just an example, if we form a change here, it's not really relevant for me at all. I do not like to take something like this. It's too crazy. It's too crazy. And like some people saying, we can get a gap SMT, for example, with this gap. I don't care. Why I'm going higher, but no 3-minute, no 5-minute entry signatures. It should really just continue through the high here right now. Since we took this high here, retraced this deep, formed the 2 stage, that was nice, but it should not spend a lot of time here. It should just, maybe YM can make a gap here on a 3-minute, then make a signature here. You're giving sauce away for free. Yeah, true. True, true, true. But I think for the most people that think this is a lot of sauce I'm giving away for free here, Lathyrus is really insane then, since we have like 4 or 5 other people in there as well. 2 streams a day. You can ask everything you want in the channels. If you tag the mentors, they will respond as well. But I appreciate the feedback that it's actually good value for a lot of people. Splash streaming on YouTube tomorrow. I'm not sure, let me check. I know I'm doing a stream tomorrow in Lathyrus, but not the open, just an evening stream. Let me check. Tomorrow it's Splash live on YouTube, yes, and Avis live in Lathyrus, and tomorrow I'm doing a um, stream at the PM session, right? Q&A. Thursday, Friday, Jay is live in Lathyrus, and I'm live on YouTube on Friday. I don't know for how long, since it depends on the price action as well. I was in Lathyrus for like about 6 months. It changed everything. Yeah, I mean, you do not have to be in Lathyrus for like years and years. If you join Lathyrus, you can learn everything if you want, and you have the time for it, like in a month or 2 months. It just depends how many work you're putting in, or how much. Do you wait for the next 30 minutes to print the wick and then enter the change? I mean, if I'm still in a C2, C3 candle on the 30 minute or 1 hour, I just need this signature inside the candle. And of course, let me pick an example. Let me pick this candle right here. This is the 10 AM candle. If that signature, this one, or this one, or this one, is forming very high in the range, for example, this high, I would rather wait for the next candle. It's just not ideal. It's ideal to enter in the bottom of the expansion candle. That's nice. Splash has a YouTube channel. Yes, I think